This story takes place at a U.S. Navy base where racial discrimination was rampant. During the sweltering summer, everyone longed to cool off in the ocean, but there was an unspoken rule. White sailors could swim 6 days a week, while black sailors were only allowed in the water on Tuesdays. One young black man decided to break this unjust rule. Ignoring the warnings and glares from others, he dove into the sea. The commanding officer immediately ordered him to be pulled out, but the man was an incredibly fast swimmer. No one could catch him. This was 1950s America, where the status of black people was painfully low. Carl, the young man, had grown up watching his father sweat and bleed in the fields. Determined to change his fate, Carl enlisted in the Navy at the age of 18. Before he left, his father gave him one final piece of advice. No matter what happens, never give up and never return to a life in the fields. Carl believed he could prove himself in the Navy, but reality hit hard. On ships, black servicemen were only allowed to work as cooks. Even on base, the discrimination didn't stop. When Carl defied the swimming rule, his punishment was harsh. He was locked in a cage. But fate took a turn. The ship's captain saw something in Carl, a spark of talent and unmatched courage. He promoted Carl to second-class seaman and made him a rescue swimmer on the ship's search and rescue team. One day, a helicopter crashed into the sea. The captain dispatched divers to rescue the pilot. The mission was a success, and watching it unfold gave Carl a new dream. He wanted to become a Navy diver and a true hero. But the Navy diving school didn't accept black applicants. For 2 years, Carl tirelessly submitted applications. He pleaded with the captain to write recommendation letters again and again. Eventually, his persistence paid off. He was admitted. But on the very first day, the instructor took one look at Carl and turned him away at the gate. Carl stood outside the whole day. Only by evening did the instructor finally let him in. The welcome was anything but warm. As soon as Carl stepped into the dorm with his luggage, he was met with glares and spit. Only one person spoke to him, a white sailor named William, who also faced discrimination because of his stutter. William became Carl's only friend. That night, the instructor introduced Carl to the class. A white trainee immediately stood up and announced that he wouldn't share a room with a black man. He grabbed his things and walked out. Others followed, leaving Carl and William alone. But William paid for his kindness. The next day during training, the instructor retaliated by slamming a 45-pound iron plate into his stomach and shoving him into the sea. He was later expelled from the program for failing to stay underwater for 4 minutes. Carl felt guilt-ridden but helpless, and the harassment against him had only just begun. At 3 a.m., a bucket of ice-cold water jolted him awake. The instructor blasted him with a high-pressure hose, then shoved his head into a bucket to train his breath-holding. It was torture meant to drive Carl to quit, but Carl only grew stronger, always finishing first in physical drills. His only weakness was academics. He kept failing written exams, and per diving school rules, repeated failures meant expulsion. One of the examiners quietly told Carl about a private tutoring center that could help. During every break, Carl went to the library, where he met Julie, the woman who would later become his wife. At first, she dismissed him, but Carl kept showing up with flowers, and eventually won her heart. With Julie's help, Carl's academic scores improved dramatically.